Welcome to the platform level of our challenges. This is going to be pretty complicated, so I think I'm going to break this into a series of videos. I also need to teach you a couple of new things. I will be walking you through some things, and some things I'm going to leave to you. Each game for everyone should look very different, I think. I want you to pick different characters, make different levels, so first, let's go over the objectives. For your first year, you need to create a platform-type game. All of you should know what a platform-type game is. You've probably played them before. They are things like Mario, old-school Mario, or Donkey Kong, or even things like Pac-Man, or things that follow a series of challenges that you have to do on a two-dimensional level. I know we don't have many two-dimensional games. All the games now seem to be 3D. There are still a few 2D games, like on your phone, and or something that you can play on the consoles and computers that are 2D. But that's considered more now old school. But you're going to make one today, or start at least. The second primary objective is to understand and use a function. This is a new thing that we are learning, functions. A very important tool of programmers. We'll go over that. It's a block we haven't used yet. The basic requirements of this are to create a platform game with at least 3 levels. You have to use a sprite that simulates movement, so your sprite actually has to look like it's moving, and we've gone over this a lot. So it should be pretty easy for you by now. The levels should be challenging, but not impossible. So the levels can't be super easy, just solving a simple maze. There's got to be some challenge to it. The music has to fit the game, so you can't just take your favorite song and put it in. If it doesn't fit the game, I'm going to make you take it out anyway. So, if it's a suspenseful game, you have suspenseful music. If it was a driving game, you probably have really fast, energetic music. So make sure that your music fits your game. You should have limited lives. So it's as in previous levels, you have to have your lives posted so you can see them. And they should decrease every time something happens, like you fall or run into an enemy. That doesn't mean you can't have power-ups or ways to earn additional lives, but you have to have a limited number of lives. It can't be unlimited. So you have to have a game over screen. Some extensions. And this is just some ideas of ways that you can make it better. You can certainly think of more. One, of course, create more levels. Create more exciting levels or challenging levels. You create a big end game screen or a big opening. Maybe I've seen even a couple of students already do great opening sequences. Just like in the games you buy nowadays, you have parts where the game builds up the story at the beginning. Maybe it plays a sort of a movie at the beginning. You could do that. That would be a really cool thing to add. And to go with that, create a story to go with your game. I can tell you most developers these days, but even back in the days of the Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, developers, the first thing that the game developer came up with was the story of the game. Who's the main character? What are they trying to do? Rescue a princess? What are the challenges? Who's the bad guy in the story? What are the things that they're trying to get through, the levels? So there's a story to the game. Even the simplest games, Angry Birds has a story behind it, right? To rescue the eggs from the pig. So the developers came up with a story in their mind first, and then they build it. It's really hard to build a game without having a story. And most people who try to do that make really lousy games. And third, make a fancy victory screen. So maybe you could have a game over screen, but we haven't done this, a really fancy win screen. Maybe it finishes the story. It shows the princess getting rescued from the castle or something. Maybe make a really fancy victory screen. This doesn't limit. You could certainly add more things that you've seen in games to your extensions if you have time. So let's get started. The first thing I want to teach you is about functions. Now, functions are a big topic. Here we are, more blocks, make a block. This is one thing I've really discouraged people from doing so far. The make a block is the function. So let me give you an example. Your mother these days might say, clean your room. Now, when you were little, you might not know what clean your room meant. maybe she had to walk you through the steps. First, we take the covers, we put them on the bed, we put the pillow on the bed, we straighten them out, make them look nice. We pick up your clothes on the floor, we put them in the laundry basket. We put the books on the shelf. We put the toys back in the box, we put them on the shelf. There's a lot of steps, if you think about it, in cleaning your room that you probably didn't know when you were little. As you got older, and hopefully by now, your mother or father can just say, please go clean your room. And you know what that means. You know all the steps. So clean your room has become a function, which means a lot of little things, right? You might ask, can I go to my friend's house? Your parents know that's a function. It means that, oh, you're going to need a ride, or you're going to walk, or you're going to bike, and they know which friends you're going to and how you're going to get there, and maybe kind of what you're going to do there. They know all those little things, so you can just ask to go to a certain friend's house. Functions, as you can probably guess, are really important to programmers because things that we do all the time, say make a square or have a character jump a certain way, we don't want to have to say it every time they press the button to jump, or press this button, jump this way, or do this, especially if it's a complicated series of commands. Instead, we can just say it once, put it in a function like make a square, and then anytime we want to make a square, we just say the function, make a square, and it would do all the steps in making a square. So today, as an example, we're going to make at least three we're going to put in our game. You can certainly make more as you make your game more complicated, but we need specifically 3 here. Let's do, and I did my more blocks. I just made a block. This is going to be run controls. Let's make another block. This is going to be jump controls. And we'll make another block. And this will be gravity controls. So I have 3 different functions that I'm going to start with. And I have to put down this microphone so I can start doing the coding. Now, each of these are going to be vital for our platform game. Now, you want to get all the mechanisms of your game working before you get too into the game design. So you need to have it so it jumps correctly. You need to have it so it doesn't fall through the platform. You need to have them so that they have realistic jumping. So these are the things you need to figure out first before you worry about, what's the next level going to be like, or how do I win? What does the victory screen look like? So you need to build a platform. And for your testing, you can just build a simple platform. Make a new object, draw a rectangle, say, and we'll draw one. I'll pick a different color, actually. Let's delete that. I'm going to make it a dark blue. Draw it, and I will color it in. Oops, step back. It's not even showing the screen. Let's make it bigger. There we go. So now I have my object. It's for my practice, and then I can make another square here too, just to practice. Let's make another square here. I'm not gonna make it part of this actually. So we can practice running into things and not running through them. Let's go back to this scripts. Now you're going to pick a sprite. You can pick anything, characters off the web. But if you pick a character off the web, obviously you're going to have to pick a sprite that has multiple positions, right? So you can make them look like they're running, like with our cat that has obviously has at least 2 positions, so you can make him actually look like he's moving. So I'll pick a sprite from the library, but I want to pick, let's pick an animal. And it's got to be an animal that has multiple costumes. So I look here, I see 3 costumes. So he's probably going to be good. When you make your real game, you might want to look on the internet, because they don't have as many choices here. Oh, how about the elephant? How many does he have? 2? So he probably looks like he's walking. I'm going to use the elephant for now. I haven't used him before. Shrink him down just a little bit. Let's look at his costumes. That's, well, it's not going to be good. I guess we'll go to our old standby. I'll use the cat. So you can make him look like he's moving. But let's go back to the functions. Alright. Now you can see that I've created a basic platform and 3 functions which I've defined, and something for the cat. So you see first that I've set up run controls. I didn't finish these, you'll have to finish them. But when right key pressed, change X by, let's see, change X by run speed. If touching the platform, then change X by 0 minus run speed. So with that, he should stop when he runs into a wall. Let's see if it works. Oh, he didn't. See? You see he stopped. I was going right. I'll put it back here again. So it goes to the right, and he doesn't go through the wall. So as soon as he hits the platform, so if touching platform, it changes the speed to be 0 minus the run speed. So basically it takes away all the speed. You'll have to change that, set that up for the other direction. If you're going right, left. If you're going up, down, right, left, you'll have to do more. Under here I've got gravity controls. This should look pretty familiar. We did something very similar in Jumping Monkey, or whatever else you made that game into. You're changing the Y value, so you're changing how high up it is by the fall speed, however fast it's falling, and it's going to, the more you fall, the faster it will fall. It changes by gravity. So you see, if it's touching the platform, then it does 0. It changes the Y to 0 minus fall speed. So once it hits the platform, it's going to stop falling. Then it'll set the fall speed to 0. So it won't fall anymore once it hits the platform. Otherwise, it's going to increase by gravity. So it's going to keep getting, it starts at -1 and it's going to keep increasing. So let's see what happens. I'm going to put him up in here, and he drops. And he drops. And he drops. But over here, he should not drop as far. Let's see. Oh, yep, he stops at the platform. So wherever he does, he falls. You see how he gets faster as he falls down? It starts slow, and he gets faster. Now finally, the jump controls. Over here, if the key space is pressed, we set the fall speed to the takeoff speed. So now he will jump up, and then he will fall. Because over here, you can see, I've set the takeoff speed to 12. Now you can play with all these numbers. You can change the gravity, but I think you might. Gravity -1 is probably all you can handle. This is how fast he is, the run speed. These are the defaults that it just starts whenever it sets up. And then forever, I do all these things. So I don't have to put a forever block around these if statements, because I put the forever block around the controls where I'm running the functions. Part of the advantage of functions. So let's see if the jump button works. See, he jumps up and down. Isn't that a more realistic jump? He starts fast, he gets to the top, slows down, and then he comes back down, falling more faster as he goes. So this will get pretty complicated. So that's the end of our first part of our video. Get your cat to work correctly, get him to walk back and forth, to not run through things, to be able to jump correctly, and in the next level we'll fix some of these things, like he's not hitting the exact bottom here, hopefully. Maybe I'll find a better character too. So get all this working, get your functions in, figure out your speeds, play with it a little bit, and we'll move on to part 2.